Hey, what's going on? So, I don't know where to start. Uh, you know what? The music is just a little bit. I was hoping to have some background music, but honestly, nah, not for this. So I noticed that there's been a lot of talk on the internet ever since before the direct, during the direct, and after the direct, and I believe the internet's still having a lot of conversations and everyone is throwing out their 2 cents, and rightfully so. It was quite possibly the most controversial thing that Nintendo's ever done, and that's saying something, right? I've been a Nintendo fan since I was 5 years old. My uncle on my birthday during Christmas, he brought a Nintendo Entertainment System, and I became a Nintendo fan at 5. That's just suffice to say. I'm currently 42 years old, father, husband, um, and I have been able to share my love with Nintendo with my family. That's probably my favorite thing about gaming as an adult is that I share my love for this guy with my daughter, and it's funny, we just like for instance, we just came off playing Mario Party Jamboree. So it's not like this is an everyday thing for me. You know what I mean? I am a huge Nintendo fan in many different ways. And for people who have followed me on the internet, which isn't that many, but suffice to say, you know that I'm very vocal about Nintendo, and I try to do it in a funny way. And in many ways, it's me. It's kind of me making fun of myself because I support a company that I shouldn't anymore because of their anti-consumer practices and just like the fact that they don't like their fans. I, I feel like I've pointed out throughout the years every time Nintendo did something wrong, right? That was anti-fans, and at the end of the day, whether they have silly gimmicks and antiquated hardware, even in the midst of me making a joke or calling them out on social media by saying a phrase that I use, I'm not going to use it during this conversation. This is different than most of the stuff that I'm going to do. I'm posting this on the internet, and I'm just going to just leave it be. I'm probably going to throw it on YouTube as well, just because I want this to be. I feel like this should be heard. And if only a few people hear it and see it, then so be it. At the end of the day, I'm not out here to be famous or be popular. I'm just a guy who just loves video games. This is my this is what I look at as like a wonderful, beautiful art form. And I will say that the actual direct itself was awesome. It really was. I like how Nintendo came away, how they came out the gate, showing you Mario Kart and what Mario Kart world is going to be, what kind of game it's going to, how it's going to play, and then from there we look at the C button, right? The C button gate. What was the C button? And they showed us their own version of Discord, which is pretty funny, and people have you know opinions on that as online as well. But I actually liked it, and they we went on to look at a lot of third party support, And on top of that, we got a good look at the console. What can the Switch 2 do, and what is it capable of? I think they did a really good job explaining what it can do and how it will work. And I think one of the best parts about it is how they demonstrate how Metroid Prime 4 is going to play. You're getting your games at 4K, 60 frames per second. May not have ray tracing, but again, you're getting 4K, 60 frames per second on the hottest game at launch. Well, one of the hottest games at launch. As just a this is what we can do, right? This is an example of what this console is capable of. And there's been speculation and rumors about what the Switch 2 can do, and I try to stay away from those things because there's just nothing but speculation. Like, oh, you had so much speculation, like, oh, they're gonna roll out. This is only going to be first party, and then they're going to do another direct, and the other direct is going to be about third party. Clearly, that wasn't the case because one of the next things they showed was Elden Ring, and then the floodgates of what third party is going to look like, right? We see games like the sequel to Daemon X Machina. We see Street Fighter 6. Uh, we are told that Madden is coming. We see EA support. We see that Final Fantasy 7 remake is coming to that. We also see that the 2K games will be there. So we know that Cyberpunk 2077 again, incredible, incredible, absolutely incredible. Like regardless of what people think and people's opinions are, like that's incredible. That's kind of what like as a Nintendo fan, you want that, and we got it, and it was awesome. Then we see that Masahiro Sakurai is making another Kirby race game. Wasn't a big fan of it originally, but the fact that Masahiro Sakurai is actually making a Kirby game in general is a big deal because like the guy kind of created the character. You know what I mean? Like, um, we see that the GameCube emulation is going to Nintendo Online. We get the release date of the Switch. I'm not going in order. I'm just saying things that I remember from the direct. I don't have like a list in front of me. I'm just talking, right? We get a bombshell of bombshells. I'm a From Software fan. People online know me that I'm a huge From Software fan. So on the stream, I go insane. I do. I do. I go in the actual stream. I go I fanboy. You know, sorry, you got, you got fanboy from Soft Alvin going nuts, and you know, Duskblood is a thing, and it's exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, regardless of what it is, PvP, PvPe, regardless. From Software is having a game coming exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2, which is a huge headline right there already. We look at like a bunch of third parties games that are coming to the system. We see that Hades 2 has finally been announced for console. This is this was a sign of goodwill, at least in my estimation, right? And Nintendo famously does one last thing, and we all expect to see this guy, but instead we see Donkey Kong, which I would probably argue is way better because it's coming out in July. So this guy can still come out at the end of the year. He can still come out at the end of the year. We find out about the support for last gen, which at first was a bit jarring because you're like, oh, we're gonna pay extra, especially with Mario Party Jamboree, which again, a game that I regularly play with my family. So I was like, well, I guess we're gonna dish out the money. And even me, I'm saying to myself, you know what? As someone as a huge Nintendo fan, Zelda fan, if you look back there, you see Tears of the Kingdoms collectors. I have an amiibo wall full of Zelda stuff. Um, I was happy. We got to see how we got to see Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom running better. And I knew that we weren't going to see the actual price. It was and I said during the stream it's probably going to be in the press release because Nintendo famously does the press release afterward, right? So the press release comes 449. Now, I'm not here to have a back and forth discussion about whether or not the tariffs are involved with that. I'm not going to go back and forth regarding uh, whether or not this Nintendo's just being greedy. They're anticipating the tariffs because distribution got moved and they're anticipating it. So now it's now 450. The actual console with Mario Kart installed, not, yeah, pretty much installed digitally. That's going to be 500. It's going to be cheaper in Japan. All these things. The price of the console does not bother me. And also people are like, "What?" I'm like, it really doesn't. I anticipate you're getting a 4K console and it's handheld. You know, it goes to 120. Is it OLED? No, but it's a console that you will be using for the foreseeable future. My daughter is 10, and typically their generation years are about 8 years. So by the time this console comes out and when the console ends, my daughter will be a grown up. She'll be 18 years old. So I look at that as a sound investment. So I'm like, the price doesn't kill me. I'm still gonna buy the thing, right? Then I look up and we see, now this is a sign of goodwill. I'm just being honest about the entire thing, right? Like I'm not I'm not trying to have like a headline or crash out or anything like that. I'm just having a conversation. I see the peripherals you can use. I can use my Pro controllers for the Switch 1 on the Switch 2. Thank you, Nintendo. Seriously. That's cool because I don't have to buy extra peripherals out the gate. I mean, I want to buy a camera. I'm not going online with that. I got OBS. I got a PC. If I want to really like, and if I'm going to play online, I'm going to play online. But it's Nintendo. I'm not going to play games. I'm not going to play my Nintendo games online. Let's be honest with ourselves. Some of them probably, just for the novelty, and I'll probably have it because I want to be able to use Nintendo Online to play older games, which we'll get to. I feel like we're 14 minutes in, and I feel like I haven't even gotten started, which is ridiculous. So Nintendo, we get things rolled out when you can pre-order it. You see that GameStop is okay. This is how much it is for a trade-in to put it towards it. We get the whole thing, and then we get something that really tore my heart out. Nintendo decided to end physical game media on their terms, apparently. Now, this could be a controversial take, right? I don't think I'm better than anybody. I don't think I'm I don't think I'm a better gamer because I purchase my games other than using a subscription service like Game Pass or, you know, going online to CD keys or, you know, definitely go to Cheap Shark too, by the way. If you're playing on PC, like, yo, Cheap Shark is the bomb. You just find out who has the sale. Fanatical, Green Man Gaming. Anyway, I can rant about that, but in a good way. And that's the irony, right? Like I love Steam, I love PC, but I also love Nintendo because for Nintendo, it was almost like they were in my mind, in my foolish mind, they were the final bastion of physical games because we see the writing on the wall with Microsoft. It's over, Johnny, and that's fine. They've been trying to do this since last gen, so more power to them. They're doing it their way. They have $1 trillion. They have Game Pass. They're gonna make whatever this next console is gonna be, or in between whatever they're gonna do. They have the money to do it. But so more power to them. We see Sony doing it slowly but surely, testing the waters in it. I know there's people out there who are in denial that they're not going to go digital fully, and the signs are pointing to it, guys. Stop being in denial, right? Stop being in denial. I just heard sorry. It's gonna happen. But Nintendo still had cartridges, right? Even though there's digital games on Nintendo Switch, kind of was like, well, Nintendo, you go into a store. I mean, let's be honest, guys. We go into like a Walmart, we go into a Target, especially. We go into GameStop, we go into all of these stores, and the Nintendo section is the biggest. Let's be real. Nintendo has the biggest section at Target, at Walmart. And I know some people will be like, well, not my Walmart. I'm just saying in general what I've seen, right? The Nintendo section is typically bigger, uh, just because and it has nothing to do with them having more games, but it does have to do with the fact that they have more physical games. You see that like the Xbox section in stores is starting to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Like in Target, it's pathetic, right? Have you walked into Target? It's so pathetic. Um, there's basically nothing but peripherals for the most part, and like cards. Here you could buy a digital game here. And a couple of the mainline games that you see that Western developers make, you're gonna get that, like an NBA 2K or Madden or Call of Duty. Those type of things. But Nintendo had a really big section, and has had a really big section. So you're like, well, they're not. They're clearly invested in this, and we find out that apparently, and we don't know if this is going to be on a case by case basis. We don't know if this is going to be every single game, but we do know that games will not be on the physical cartridge itself. We don't know what the extent is, but we know it's coming. And it's going to be like how a lot of modern games are. You put the game in, and the disc will read. And I'm not going into all the details, so nobody, oh, it does this. It actually does this. At the end of the day, you put in the disc. You put in the disc. There's no data on the disc. The console knows that that game is in there. It then downloads the game off of the internet and then puts it on your console. They're not taking the data off of the disc. Some games do this, right? Like Red Dead Redemption does this. What game came out recently that does it? I can't think of there's a was it Platinum Fucon? I don't remember, but there's games that do this, right? There's a data disc and then there's a play disc. I'm not, I know I can't think of it off the top of my head because I'm just thinking about Nintendo right now. But that's gonna be the case, and that becomes the slippery slope. They're doing it too. And I know that people are just I know younger people have they don't care. They're like, "Alvin, I don't care, man. I play I play all my stuff digitally. I've been playing Roblox and Steam and Minecraft and Fortnite and Warzone, these everyday driver games I call them. I don't really care about physical media. Like, I don't give a damn about physical media. I understand that. I get that. And there's people out there who are like, dude, I've been done with physical media for 10 years. I understand that too. I get it. I actually have I have digital games. Like my entire Steam library is digital, I have a lot of digital games on my all of my consoles. I just do. Most of them are indie when they're on my major consoles. I just fancy Nintendo to be the one who holds the line. I'm just gonna put that out there. Hold the line for physical, and it looks like they're not. And then the other gut punch comes. This sucks. Mario Kart, Mario Kart World, right? Is 79.99. Day one, Switch game. If you want to get the Nintendo Switch version of Tears of the Kingdom, same thing. Games can and will be $90 on the Nintendo Switch too. Does that mean every game will be? No. Like there's going to be a case by case basis. Obviously, you're going to see a lot of games at 70, a couple games at 40, some at 50, and then the major hitters will be like 80, $90. What a dangerous precedent we're setting now. There's been rumors that GTA 6 is going to be $100. There's no doubt in my mind that we're if we're not at 100 when that game comes out, we'll damn sure be close. I'm a guy who gets like digital editions of games. I'm sorry, deluxe editions of games and stuff. I will pay. But there's something about the base game being a specific price. Man, we went from games being 50 to games being 60 to major games being 70. And now we're just jumping up again. I love this, right? I love this. I love this. I love all of this. I don't want this to be too expensive for people. And it seems as though we're getting there. And it sucks because I view gaming as an art form. Corny to say, but I don't care. I view gaming as an art form, and it's like it just seems like as the days go by, it's not as fun as it used to be. It's been a gut punch today. I hate this, right? Like I love games. I'm not gonna be dumb. Like I'm gonna buy the Nintendo Switch too. Like you know what I mean? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play the games. I'm gonna love it. But I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about everybody else. And I know everybody's like, oh well, who cares? Like if you're not gonna get the people online are like, listen, I'm not talking about the people who are jaded. You know what I mean? I'm talking to the people who are like me, who love gaming and every bit of it, and they want to experience it all. And you know, I know this is going to sound controversial, but thank God for Game Pass. Sorry. Thank God for PC. Thank God for emulation. I believe in game preservation. I believe that games should be preserved. And these companies, I know Microsoft is doing their part right now in preservation. But at the end of the day, like these companies have no problem moving forward and not thinking to look back. And it will be emulation that maintains the art form moving forward. Uh, I don't know where this leads. in the next few years. Like it's discouraging, you know. I get it. The digital age is going to go on. Um, Games will be more on PC. You'll start seeing them more on PC. You'll start seeing games go day and date with PC, whether it's on Xbox, which already does it, PlayStation, which they should do it, and at some point Nintendo. It's all going to end here on PC, right? Everybody's going to have their own UI on PC, whether it's a PC handheld or something or other. I love Nintendo. I do. I do. I do. I love them to a fault. I love their games. I love their IPs. I'm one of those people that when people are just like, "Oh, there's no third party support," I'm like, I don't care. I'm happy with what they gave me. You know, uh, I don't buy Nintendo systems. You don't buy a console, right, for the best graphical fidelity, and you damn sure don't buy a Nintendo console for the best graphical fidelity at all. You buy it for this guy, and there's magic with this guy. But Nintendo's greed is really showing themselves this time around. And it happens often, You can play our games, but don't play our music. Okay. You can buy Smash Brothers, but you guys can't have any tournaments. Okay. Like you can play our games backwards compatible, but it has to be through our little service that we just put games on whenever we feel like it. And we just have to hope and pray that the games that we really want on it will eventually start coming out eventually. Man, it was a really good direct. That's really what I'll say about that. Everything else that came after it sucked. Except I can play my peripherals and I don't have to pay extra to play the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and a couple of other games and Mario Odyssey, which will be really cool to play. Other games in general. So that's cool. Everything else kind of sucked. Um, I didn't want to make any jokes. I just want to throw this out there because I feel like someone wants to hear this, not just me, and someone else is thinking this, not just me. And I get it. You want to go out there and you want to, like I said, it's. I've been through a lot in my life, but one thing I can always say is all the stuff that I've been through in my life, I've always kept a pretty good head on my shoulders, and I've really tried to overcome, try to do the good thing. And I don't think Nintendo's really doing the good thing here. Now I get it. There's tariffs. There's all. Again, I'm not talking about the hardware of the console. 450 is fine. 450 is fine. 500 for the bundle is fine too. It's just dang man. Uh, the mouse is cool, right? Play PC games. Civilization, you can play with a mouse. We could play with a mouse on console. That's pretty cool. But I feel kind of crappy about it. Mm, that's really all I got to say about it too. FNB, right? FNB. Those who know me know what FNB stands for. But seriously, I really hope that games can continue to be fun and they can be fun for the whole family because this console will sell like gangbusters. Even though Nintendo's getting destroyed online, very much like how Xbox got destroyed online in 2013, 2012. I don't remember if it was 2012 or 2013. They got demolished. The difference between both companies is Microsoft is still dealing with the sin of the Xbox One reveal, and Nintendo's probably going to sell about 100 million consoles for the Nintendo Switch 2. That's the difference. That's the only difference. One company, being one of the richest companies in the world, has been like literally trying to like show their consumer base that they care, but they can't go about doing business the same way they've always been because that, quite frankly, they're still dealing with the sins of the Xbox One. Uh, and I'm not sympathetic towards a $1 trillion company. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not. But I'm just looking at what's interesting between both. And I know, like I said, right now they're getting demolished online. But man, when Mario Kart comes out, people are gonna be happy about it. When Metroid Prime 4 comes out, man, people are gonna be happy about it. And when they do their direct in the summer and they show this guy, they're gonna be happy about it. And I probably will too. And that's the irony of why I say FNB. Anyway, I love y'all. It's been 30 minutes. Been real. I can keep going, but I figured I've rambled enough. Peace.